Hey guys, on my DT back again with a WoW collection video. So I got another box from eBay. Like I said again, nothing special on the top, just a shipping label with tape over it, so I can't use my marker very well to blot out the information. So I'm just going to open the box and not show you guys the sensitive information of the shipper and myself. So this is just bulk cards. I think it was just a large amount of bulk cards. I actually should probably have went and looked and see what I was promised before I opened this, but at some point these were supposed to be, if I remember correctly, they're you know, maybe I'm just stupid and I bought things that don't matter to even my collection, but so I mean, I'll just show you the package it was sit in. So these cards were just open in this box. So I think this might have been one. I don't think that this was not a normal seller of collectible cards. So I'm not going to rag on them too hard. And they just sit them like that in these bags, which isn't going to do too much. Ziploc bags aren't going to do cards harm. I have some bulk in Ziploc bags just because I don't have anywhere else to store them. I don't think it hurts them, but just kind of that shipping method, if it was rough, it's going to get really thrown around. Oh, so we got a cool Void Walker named Sarmoth. I mean, I still think Void Walkers are the most iconic Warlock pet. I mean, it was something that, like, I remember kind of being a noob at World of Warcraft and seeing like a Warlock with a Void Walker, and it was like, oh my god, they must be so good at this game. And it was like, no, they just got to level 10 and they were retarded. You know, I just want to say I played this game when I was very young. So when Vanilla first came out, I mean, I was like 9, 10, 11 is when I first started playing. But that shield right there was a green you could get from Ragefire Chasm, RFC, and Ogremar, and actually something you could do back in the day because Alliance didn't have such a low level dungeon. I actually had a rogue, and I would sneak into Ogremar, run this, get those greens, and that shield might sell for 30-some silver, which God back then was a lot. Maybe I'm missing the price, but yeah. So we got a lot of Azeroth cards. You know, here's some Outland cards. I've seen Azeroth and Outland, and I did see one other, some Ironforge cards. So that's kind of a cool staple there. It's a Dwarf Warrior. Okay, of course, the iconic Execute, same card art, same ability, actually. That's one of the few that, I mean, they just sent straight to the card game. So this card art was used for I think it was Pirate Captain, I think it might was. I think every time you played a pirate, it gained 1/1. There was a short while where that was a pretty powerful deck, I think, Pirate Rogue. Kind of same thing. This ability was turned into a hero. It's like a Stormwind Knight. It's like a 2/5 with charge. Honestly, pretty garbage unless you wanted just to throw in charge cards, which, you know, believe it or not, at the beginning of Hearthstone was a very viable way to win games. Just throwing as many cards, not Rush, but Charge. Rush was added later and is not as good as Charge, but yeah, Charge was added in, and or not added in, but it was a base mechanic, and you could literally just build decks around Charge cards and just go face and have some removal or extra damage and stuff like that, and just win as many games as you could. I think that's probably my problem with Hearthstone, was I learned how to play back in the day when you didn't need skilled. I think I got to pretty high rank. I never got legend, but I got pretty high, and then I remember kind of like starting to have to build decks, and I was like, oh, I'm done with this game. I can't just put good minions in the deck. So this was a quest. So this is the beginning quest from a Blood Elf, and that was, Blood Elves were my go-tos back in the day. So I mean, that was one of the. Now it's super easy face roll quest because you can just go get the item. But back in the day, I didn't want to kill all the little Trents there that would attack you. That were red to you, and, to get his belongings. So, it was always trying to sneak through. And I'd probably, God, now, even, like, going back to it, it wasn't hard. Like we've learned with Classic, World of Warcraft was never really that hard. We were just all really bad. And I'll back that up because, I remember the game being so hard for me, because I mean, there's so many times I would die, and now I just realized I was just a dumb kid who, like, instead of killing who I needed to kill, I would try to run and not aggro them, and then I'd aggro, and then I'd panic and aggro another one, another mob, and they'd kill me, and I'd be so mad, and I'd take a break. So this card kind of makes me laugh. It's just Tim, human mage Tim. Oh, save us, Tim. So nothing. I haven't really seen anything too iconic or anything that's catching my eyes in these. But yeah, a lot of Azeroth cards. There's some Outland, and I can't remember if there's a Betrayer card. So I think that's what it is. I think it's Azeroth, Outland, and Betrayer is what I've seen so far. This was a pretty iconic card, and it's actually pretty similar. It's not exactly the same, but in Hearthstone, this was a 2/4, summon a 2/1. I think it cost, it might cost 4 mana, which just seems really awful thinking about it, but I remember there being certain times in certain decks that you ran her in your deck, and I remember liking her as a card, at least maybe from the original game, because I think at the stage you'd play her down, your 2/1 could about kill whatever minion they had, and usually it was at that point, I think most of the minions would be 3/2s or something along that line, or maybe it was maybe if it was a more defensive monster, had 4 health, and that would kill it, but the 2/4 would survive. So I hope that makes sense. I was really into Hearthstone at one point. I probably could have been really good if I dedicated myself to it, but now I just, it's a little too big brain for me. But I mean, it would be cool to get into card games where I'm collecting. But I don't know how much my wife can take of this. Like, if I start disappearing to card tournaments and stuff like that, I might not have a wife. So I better just chill it with that. All right. So this is another Hearthstone card. So that was I don't remember what it was, but this was a 2 mana 2/1 summon a 1/1 if I remember correctly. And I think you even played her in a hunter deck at some point, because her boar was a lot of value with whatever card or whatever reason you're running it then, because you get a free 1/1 pet with the 2, for, you get, however many much stats for 2, and it was, kind of a tempo play, and then you could buff the boar. So that was kind of one of those things. It was one of those cards you would run in there, and you'd either just drop it for tempo, or you would save it for kind of a combo, because I remember you could use the Hound Master, I think was his name, and you could make him a 3/3 with taunt. So that was a pretty good board setup. So we're getting into gladiators, and I didn't read the bottom, but I kind of knew, because there was a lot of like gladiator, like Edward Hack Robinson, or I'd say gladiator or whatever. And what would have been something that would be really cool is, I mean, it could be this way, but they added like players who were gladiators into the game at the time of this being printed. That would be pretty dope, and maybe they did do that, but I don't know for sure. I'm just talking. So Sinister Strike, all the same. I wonder how many of these cards, like I would want to know a count, and then even because, you know, like Hearthstone's still releasing expansions, like how many cards or things do they just jack straight from the card game? You know, like we think like, oh, they really went that extra mile, and then, you know, it's just jacked from the card game. I mean, I don't know about the mechanics, and of course, like I know the names can easily carry over, like World of Warcraft, Lightning Bolt, you know, that's, you know, Shaman spell, so of course it's going to be a Shaman spell, but, you know, I know a lot of the art, they just flacked right over on there, but it's like, I wonder how much of Hearthstone is original, I mean, of course, none of it's original because it's based off of Warcraft, but I mean, you know, how much they based off this specific cards, like the specific cards, or how much they created new, like art, effects, stuff like that. You know, I mean, I know a lot of the effects aren't similar to this card game based on mechanics and stuff like that, but I think everyone gets what I'm saying, so I'm just going to stop talking. So yeah, I mean, haven't seen anything great, which that's, you know, when you buy bulk, that's just something you run into. You know, I mean, a lot of cool card art. I would love to show it to you guys, but I just think, I mean, I can't, there's too many cards and I can't shuffle through my hands backwards. So something that I hope as this channel continues on, that I can change is having a way, getting a camera and having a way to be able to, you know, you guys see it, but it's like this. And I know every card thing has that, but, you know, it's just, I'm just doing this for fun, and it's starting off, so if I only get 5 viewers because of that, I'll get 5 viewers, and then at some point I'll get more, you know? So that's how I feel when I get heartburn. I don't know about you guys, but I will get some crazy heartburn. You know, you eat pizza for supper, eat a little bit too much pizza, and all of a sudden I wake up in the middle of the night, like, dying, which I kind of say that funnily, but, you know, people can die from heartburn, because you throw up and you're not elevated, so you die. So here's Fork Lightning, also original card added into Hearthstone. You did damage to, as a shaman spell, and you did damage to 2 different enemy minions. I don't think it was very good, so it was probably never ran a whole lot. I mean, it might have been ran in some, maybe like a control deck or something like that, but I don't ever remember it being a staple must include of any shaman deck, because I think it also had overload effect, which overload's not necessarily bad, but if you're not getting the value, I mean, like, iconically, I think some of the, I mean, shamans were overpowered for a lot of, I think, the beginning of Hearthstone, just because, you know, I don't remember what this is called in Hearthstone, whether it's Dark Hole, Black Hole, or what it is, but it was a 9 mana, kill everything on the board. So kind of a play on Godzilla and Mothra. So yeah, all right. So we're almost done with this pack, guys. So I know it's a long video with kind of a whole lot of boring stuff, but I try to make it as entertaining as possible and kind of, you know, show you guys what this is. And you're like, well, if you're trying to entertain us, you're not doing a good job. Well, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm trying. So, oh, and see, now we're getting in some Wrathgate cards. So I don't need Wrathgate, but yet, but it doesn't hurt to have them, because like I said, I'm going to collect all the expansions for this game, and it's going to be an expensive endeavor and probably a useless one. I'm just going to be honest, it's just for me. Like, these will never, my collection will never be worth anything. It'll never be anything super special, but I will have it, and it will be my World of Warcraft card collection. Maybe when I'm 40 years old, maybe someone will want it. Like, I played World of Warcraft my whole life. These cards are so cool. I want them. Here's $1 million, and I'll be super happy. But hopefully I have $1 million by then. Crusade Engineer Fitzpatrick. Oh, that's kind of a funny name. So Crusade Engineer Fitzpatrick. I think that's Gnomish Mind Control Tech was the card, and that was an include for a long time when aggro decks were going strong. So I think the thing about Wrathgate, it comes from the Scourge War set. So Scourge War was like 3 different sets. If I remember correctly, I think it was Scourge War, just base set, and then Scourge War Wrathgate, and then Scourge War Ice Crown was the last one. And I'm collecting Scourge War Ice Crown. So guys, that box is a little bit bigger, and we were probably maybe expecting more, but it had less. I don't really know what I paid for that one. I maybe paid more than I paid for the last one in the last video. And it might have not been a good deal, but it was just a bunch of bulk. And I think the reason why I think I did this was because I want some to buy. I want some to open on camera. I almost said stream, but this isn't live, but I am doing it all one take. So it's live while I'm doing it. Nothing's pre-manufactured at all. So that's why you're going to see a bunch of gaffes and mistakes, and I'm going to burp every once in a while, and people are going to be like, this guy is disgusting, with a capital D, but I hope he gives it to me. All right, but yeah, I mean, so that's really it. I really hope you guys, like my videos, at least the essence of them, and want to kind of join me on this journey, and the best way to do that is by subscribing, liking, and commenting. All right, I'll catch you guys later.